NFC East matchup on who's the real deal between the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
Going in Miami. Miami is a 3.5-point favorite. This was a tough game to call because it's a straight 50-50 when you look at on who's the thing. But the issue is the Patriots still a real deal, and is Miami a real with everything they're trying to do? But I went with Miami. The Achilles heel for me is Tyreek Hill. I don't fully know how he's going to be worked in that system, but that man is wiry, that man is squirmy, and going across the middle slants and quick routes was with the weakness of New England last year, and that's Tyreek Hill's bread and butter. You get that man a little bit of space in the middle, he catches it, and he finds room to keep going yards after the catch, and that's what's gonna, he's gonna get that third down conversion. He's gonna get those first downs for you that matter.
Listening to you, Brady, and I'm wondering if your internet is the real deal. I'm going the other way. This was another one similar to the Buffalo game where I was on Miami. It should be Miami. Miami's more talented. I don't like the Patriots overall, long term, anything. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, what does the Patriots got to do to stay in this game? They got to play defense. As much questions as is on the offense and who's calling plays and all that stuff, one thing I know is that New England's going to be able to run the ball. Mac Jones is going to play smart, and the defense for the Patriots is going to show up. I can't list you one corner on the depth chart. They cut the two that I was throwing under the bus earlier this year already, and then one of them's hurt too. I don't know, but I do know that Bill Belichick, that's his baby. That's his baby. He loves the defense, and he will have a game plan to force Tua to do something that Tua is not good at. And if he can get Tua to hang on the ball and try to make second, third, fourth reads, and then you got Judon coming, and they have pieces still on the defense. It's all really right down the middle, all the way back to the safeties. Forget about the wide pieces, but if you make it harder and confusing on Tua, I think that's where the Patriots are able to keep it close. They lost on the opening game of the season in New England to Miami last year. I think that's a little chip on the shoulder, a little billboard motivation. But at the end of the day, I'm siding with Belichick, that defense, and I think Miami's going to take a little bit of time to kind of really come together and find their identity all together. So I'm going to go Patriots.
Interesting.
Patriots. This one, you guys see me just a minute ago. It's a coin toss. Belichick can't seem to find the win in Miami. He's 0-4 in Miami over the last 4 seasons. Playing the Dolphins at home. I don't know what it is. This is even before a banged-up Patriots team. I got to go with what Charlie's saying and how what do they got to do to win is the defense. Their defense has always been good. It's still good. Just to touch on some of those defensive backs, Jonathan Jones is their left corner, and then you got Jalen Mills on the right. Devin McCourty is still there, free safety. He's definitely on his last leg there. And then you got Marcus Jones, Adrian Phillips, Jabril Peppers, another
like Duggar too.
More,
yep.
Couple more guys that are a little bit older. There's some guys there. I think the defense holds up. I think it's a coin toss. Like I said, I got Miami taking it 23-19, not by much. I wanted to say that New England finds a way to make this one happen. I think Mac Jones plays another mediocre game. But I like what the Dolphins got going on, man. And I've said it in plenty of episodes before. I know Tua this, Tua that, Tua this, questions on Tua. The Miami Dolphins were 1-7 last year to start and went 8-8 to finish the season. And that was the game that Tua started playing. He went 8-1 to finish the season. I think now adding Tyreek Hill and still having Waddle on the offensive side of the ball, I think they do good things. And not by much, but I think they win it 23-19, Miami.
I'm going in on this game. Touch on Nick. I'm riding. I'm riding with the Phins on this one. It's very hard for me to go against the coaching staff and the scheme and everything that they're doing because they're tailored to Jones's success. But it's a secondary for me. Not only did they add Cedric Wilson to the Phins, to help them out with size. We got a big body, plus we got Tyreek Hill, little body. But like Nick just touched on, I mean, you got Peppers, you got Duggar, you got
Jalen Mills,
you got Mills, you got
Jonathan.
you got McCourtney, you got a lot of these guys you just named, and none of them got 40s. And what Tyreek Hill and what Waddle can do, it's just ripped the friggin' top off this damn thing, boy. I mean, then don't sleep on Cedric too, because Cedric Wilson, he's got some wheels on him too. He can do it too for a big boy. And then you go and you look at the running backs. I mean, they got some fire down, behind the line of scrimmage. It's like, where do you go? It's speed everywhere. Playing with him in Madden. I already won a Super Bowl with him. It's ridiculous already. Henry hates my guts. Doesn't even want to be my friend anymore. He's used to winning. Now I'm winning. I'm undefeated.
He did
it's a video game.
Yeah,
It's a video game. But I'm just saying, the Dolphins got elite speed, man. The Dolphins got so much speed that they're making the Raiders jealous right now with how much speed that they got going on. I'm taking, because of Cedric Wilson coming over and the Pats just losing DBs left and right. I mean, they made a stab at Peppers from the Giants, who has a history of getting hurt and things like that. But when he is on the field, he is electric. He can go get the ball. He is a hawk.
Best tackling safety ever.
He's a pretty good. I don't know about ever. I wouldn't say ever. I wouldn't do that. Maybe in his time or something. It's definitely a rubber band. It's definitely a stretch. It was definitely a stretch. A rubber band around
He's
a 3
all
liter
over
Coke
the
bottle.
field accepting coverage.
But I mean, you got to shut down Tariq, so they're going to do that, and that's just going to allow Gisick maybe potentially, if he plays. I don't. He might be questionable. I'm not sure, but you got so much on that team, bro. I just don't see the Patriots being able to stop all of it the whole game. It's just, I don't know. I don't see it. I'm all about the coaching.
I like this game, and it just popped. It just kind of occurred to me because I always listen to Eddie, and we always bring up some of these older games and stuff. This feels like a Giants versus Buffalo Bills type of Super Bowl back when the Giants needed to slow down that fast, crazy K-gun offense of the Bills. And who was the mastermind of doing that? It was Bill Belichick.
Yeah, the
He's
video.
Going to put all those different pieces that Nick rattled off in the secondary, which are very good pieces. And you're right, they're not as fast as Miami, nowhere close. And the backfield's electric and everything. But he's going to put all those pieces in the right places at all times. And that's why I got to see the proof in the pudding from Miami and Tua. There's a couple of quarterbacks out there that I got to see it before I just hand it to them and say, yeah. Because on paper, and Miami's defense, we haven't even brought up Miami's defense. Miami's defense is very, very good itself. I got to see it. I got to see it. I know Mac Jones is going to do this just simple stuff. And I know the running game is going to be nice with the 1-2 punch of Harris and Stevenson. You control the clock. You shorten up the game, and you play good defense. And at the end of the game, you win it. I know the Patriots special teams are going to be on point because as bad as those coaches are, Joe Judge and all that stuff, like they do have niches that they're very good at. And I know the Patriots are going to be sound there. So all that things considered, I got to stay with the Patriots. Miami's the more talented team, hands down.
I'm going Phins.
All right. Keeping it going, we got an interesting game. You got Baltimore Ravens as a 7-point favorite going into the New York Jets. And this might be a game where Joe Flacco plays because they're saying Zach Wilson might be out, so could we get the return of the Flacco against his old team?
No, he's out. He's out for the next 4 weeks. He's out.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. Yeah, he's out. He's out. He's missing 4 games.
Gotcha. I'll add the one game Flacco played last year. The man was 338, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The man still has it, but do the Jets have enough to outman that Ravens offense and defense? Because that's a tough team. If you can slow them down and keep the ball out of Lamar's hand.
Very.
But I'm going Ravens. I just think that they're more well coached. They're more ready to play. I think the Jets are a little too young as far as their main offensive pieces, and so whether it's butterflies week one that hold them back from being superior, but the Ravens I think are ready to win right now.
With you on the Ravens, the Jets got to learn how to win. Flacco's going to be decent. He can get the ball out to a bevy of young targets that can make things happen. I think the Ravens have slid back a little bit in their defense over the past couple of years. I like a lot of points in this game, but I think the Ravens win it at the end of the day. So I'm going Baltimore. I like the run game. I love Rashad Bateman this year, and I think Lamar is very motivated by a number of things, and I like him to have a good year this year. But I'm questionable on the Baltimore Ravens for the first time and as far back as I can remember about their whole defense, because I watched them last year and it was so much zero coverage. It was so much of just completely bailing out, just selling out across the board. I watched them lose a game to the Raiders because they had a flat line worth of coverage, not a man pass 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. And I saw that over and over and over again. And if it hits, it's great because you get to the quarterback quick and plays over. But if it doesn't, you're giving up big plays to where they just shouldn't happen. And I want to see a better Baltimore Ravens defense this year.
Oh, you will, because Mink Martindale's not there. He's on the Giants. So that's what the Giants will be doing this year. The Giants are going to be straight blitzing everybody with no DBs to cover anybody. I can't wait to watch this. It's going to be incredible. No, the Giants aren't beating the Titans.
Baltimore at New York. I hate this for the Jets. Zach Wilson coming out. I really want to see the Jets do things better than they've done in the last few years. They've been bad, and they've continued to be bad. They got this young star and a quarterback, Zach Wilson. He gets hurt. I love all the pieces that they got around them. That being said, I agree 100% with what you're saying about Baltimore's defense. They're a little shaky for me. I think they're right there with the Saints for me, 500 team, 8-9 win season. I don't think they're any better than that, but I do see Baltimore running away with this one, and I hate to say it. I got 31-17. I'm seeing some points on the board too. I think the Jets are going to struggle though. I think Joe Flacco is going to be that bad, and Baltimore is just going to handle them on offense. I do have Breece Hall having two rushing touchdowns this game, maybe one in the air, maybe one on the ground, one in the air. But I got Breece Hall 2 touchdowns this game, and then taking the starting job coming into week 2 and in front of Michael Carter.
I'm taking Baltimore because no one's taking the Jets, so I took Baltimore. No Wilson, no Jets.
That'll be 6 out of 7. We've all across the board had the same team.
I wasn't trying to do this.
Yeah, I mean the Ravens are a run team. They're not afraid to hide it, and it's still hard to stop them. It's like the Eagles last year. They're a run team. It's hard to stop it, and when it works, it works. And they just got that new center Linderbaum, who was best center, arguably best center graded, and he was ready to play. And they said, "Let's go," and they drafted him. And I was hoping he'd fall to the second round, but he didn't. But good for them. Yeah. He's a top-notch dude, and I think they're going to run right behind him, whether it's Lamar or one of the runnings.
Ronnie Stanley.
Dobbins he's questionable to play. Dobbins, he's still struggling with that injury. Mike Davis being the starting running back, that's kind of a worry for me. But let's not take away from Lamar being half the running game himself. So
the Jets
that's something to know.
I agree. That is concerning, but they did it last year with a washed-up Latavius Murray and Devontae Freeman too, and they were good enough. The Jets' secondary, though, is atrocious. Tackling and coverage, communication, you name it, that secondary is terrible. That is going to be an Achilles. It's not going to matter. He's going to have his own struggles as a man corner, because I believe that's what they're going to stick with Salah bringing over that 49ers defense. Maybe they go zone, but I think he's going to have a tough season. But the pieces around him, too, they're not good. They're not good. everything I've seen in the preseason and dating back to last year is just not good. And you can't tell me you're going to put a rookie in there as good as Sauce Gardner might end up being, and that it's just going to be wow better. I think this is one of those things where this is a good one for Lamar to get off on the right foot, and him and Bateman and Andrews, because that's what you're expecting. We're going to come in and run the ball. I think there's going to be a little bit more air from the Ravens in this game.
Ronnie Stanley's questionable. You got J.K. Dobbins in this game is questionable. Both players play for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, starting cornerback, to touch on what Charlie said, DJ Reed on the right side, he's questionable as well. So they'll have Brandon Echols starting, and then the safeties, it just gets worse. Jordan Whitehead, LaMarcus Joyner. Yeah, it's who?
Third stringers. Brandon Echols made a couple plays last year, though. I do like him.
Buck.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the Bucs secondary. Yeah, I'm saying the Bucs secondary wasn't anything to be a top notch, but he did have to face a lot of top people, right? You know, people were trying to catch up to the Bucs offense, so he was constantly going against those wide receiver ones and going over top. So whether it's good or bad for him, he's got the experience, so he knows what things look like.
The Jets got Greg Zuerlein.
You're absolutely
He'll
right.
be making field goals.
I think both teams score points. I think this is an entertaining one.
Ready to keep the ball rolling?
For sure.
I'm ready.
All right, we got two teams, new season. Both teams looking to get out of those negative headlines they had all last season with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Washington Commanders. You know, Washington finally has their new name, fully. It's integrated now. Hopefully they can fix their, stadium. The Jaguars got their new coach. Hopefully they can fix their off the field issues. They stay out of the headlines and out of the bad press. They don't have to be answering questions and interviews about what your coach doing on the weekends.
Right.
But
who's your married?
I gotta go Washington here.
Who's your married coach touching now?
Yeah, I gotta go Washington here because when we were saying this last year, Washington's defense should have been a top 5 defense, but they weren't. But they still have all those pieces. I mean, I know Young is out of this game, but you still have Sweat, you still have Payne, you still have Allen, you still have Jamin Davis. These are big name guys that are going to stuff up that front center. And for Jacksonville to get off on the right foot, they need Travis Etienne to start running well. And I just don't think this is the game for him to start running well. Coming off an injury.
It looks like James Robinson is cleared to play. So they will have the 1-2 punch, thunder and lightning-ish. I liked what I saw out of My Little Pony, Trevor Lawrence. And I can already see that Doug Peterson is putting confidence within him. He seemed so much more confident watching him throw in the preseason. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is going to schematically, with all these new pieces, which are quick, high twitch type of pieces, they're going to be able to get into space. They're going to put Trevor Lawrence in easy, comfortable positions. They're going to have a nice balance because they're healthy with those 2 running backs to play off of each other. I personally am not a fan of the secondary of the Washington team. I never have been here the past couple of years, and I'm still not. You're right. It is the same cast of characters, and you're right about that defensive line, killer top notch, and even taking Chase off the board. That's still a formidable front. But the pieces around it, including linebacker, I feel like are susceptible. And then when you look at the other side of the ball, I'm not trusting Carson Wentz yet. You're going to have to show me that there's still something left in the tank. I haven't seen it for years and years. Like, if Nick didn't bring up the specific moments of when he shined, I forgot he was even good at some point. And I'm sorry. So I'm going to go Jacksonville here. I think Washington is going to be that bad this year. Honestly, I do. I love Terry McLaurin. I like the Dotson kid that they drafted. The running game is suspect. You got Brian Robinson being put on the shelf with the incident that he went through, so you're giving the ball back to Gibson. You got young, hungry talent on Jacksonville's, front 7. I think they're going to get after it. They're fast. They're going to be playing downhill. And Jacksonville's really got nothing to lose. You come out here and you shine. Talk about getting the taste out of your mouth. You open the segment with that. I think Jacksonville's got some players that want to get that taste out of their mouth. I think as an organization, what they went through with Urban Meyer last year, they want to get that taste out of their mouth. Now, are they the most talented team in the league? Heck no. Heck no. But should they improve? I think so. And I'm going Jacksonville.
I'm loving what you're saying, Charlie. Great arguments on both sides of the ball. I got Jacksonville as well. In a tight win, 21-17, Jacksonville taking it. As far as the defense goes for Washington, we know what's there. We've, like you guys both just said, it's been the same guys, so it's no secret to what's there and what they're capable of. But I want to dive into Jacksonville's defense, and particularly their front seven and their rush defense, their pass defense, and how almost absent it was last year. But we take back to game week 18, Indianapolis Colts, Carson Wentz against the Jacksonville Jaguars got destroyed by that pass defense and their rush defense, and just embarrassed Carson Wentz. To come and add Travon Walker that they drafted, Jacksonville. You still got Devin Lloyd, Josh Allen, Devin Lloyd, and then you got Foyesade, Alua Khan. Them boys are going to get after it. There is some young, hungry guys on the defensive line. I think the script is going to change a little bit. I think it's going to come down to offensive play because I think both defenses are going to play well. I think Jacksonville runs away with it. I like what Trevor Lawrence's situation is more this year than I did last year. New coaching kind of gets away. You know, he a coach who knows who Aaron Donald is. You know what I'm saying? Like now he's got, you know, a foundation around him to be successful. Zay Jones, Marvin Jones Jr. had a solid year last year. Evan Ingram, I believe they added to the pack. Christian Kirk they brought over. So now he's got some actual weapons to work with. Jacksonville 21-17 over Washington.
I like it.
I'm going Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's you know, I'd like to say Charlie apology accepted. You know, I just want to say that the quarterback means so much that I'm picking Jacksonville because it's not even about what it's not even about what Jacksonville has done lately. It's Carson Wentz has done nothing. So it's, you know, and they're struggling to begin with. They haven't done anything in the preseason. I mean, like he hasn't shown a lick of any advancements since I've seen him on Washington. I haven't seen him do anything that's like we're like, all right, you know what? Maybe this team's going to be a problem. They're going to start coming back around. I just see them trending down. They're not trending up. Everything Charlie says, I got to agree with. I mean, how do you not love Scary Terry? How do you not feel bad for that Russian attack when Brian Robinson, you know, is out there dodging bullets instead of dodging linebackers? You know, I mean, there's a lot of things going on with that team, legality issues from the head down. There's just so much going on with that team. Is Chase 100% yet? I don't know. There's so many question marks with the Commanders that I feel they're not in command of anything. It's a very ironic name that they have because it's almost the polar opposite of I believe what they are right now, and that is not in command. So, like, I got to go with Jacksonville and the quarterback whisperer, and hopefully he can turn things around for, you know, Jacksonville. You know, I don't know if, you know, they're going to be it and they're going to be a contender. I just know week 1 they're going to beat Washington. I'm not trying to go out of the norm here and say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they're both, I'd argue, maybe not such good teams. But I just think on this day, on this time, in this stadium, Jacksonville is going to be the better team, I think.
Yeah, so this is all the recipe to be a really ugly game, I think.
I think
Agreed.
so. I think so. But then you never know.
We're gonna see some talented spots though. and some deficient spots too. We're going to see holes that are like, wow, yeah, they're really bad there. But I think we're going to see some potentials like, wow, they could be really good there. Maybe if they added one more piece next year and stuff like that. But
is Doug Peterson going to get the most out of Trevor? And is the Commanders really in command of Wentz, and is Wentz in command of this offense? Is what really
Think about
we're going to
WP, coaching Wentz for all them years. If he doesn't know Carson Wentz's weaknesses, who does?
100%.
yeah, that
Well
too.
said.
I didn't even think about that too. Exactly, the prior knowledge on that stuff too.
Well said,
But I
Mickey.
mean, one thing Doug Peterson will bring to Jacksonville, he will put Trevor Lawrence in good spots. He might not be able to run the whole team to a T and build a contender, but I feel like he'll be good with a young quarterback.
All righty. I like it. Good arguments, boys. Hopefully I'm right, just because I want that win over you guys. But I like your arguments. Keeping the ball rolling. You got the Cleveland Browns without Deshaun Watson going into the Carolina Panthers with Baker Mayfield, who's got a chip on his shoulder. This was a tough game to call. The odds right now got Carolina by 1.5. I ultimately went with the Panthers. I think it's just them. They're going to come out. They're going to score fast and early. And that's going to hold Stefanski and his game planning back, because I do think Cleveland's a better team. They're better coached. They're better all around. But what holds them back is not being able to score fast.
I think it's going to be a close one. I think McCaffrey is going to be a deciding factor for the Panthers on offense. I think time's going to tell, but I think the Cleveland defense is going to get frustrated at points. I want to say Jacoby is able to do enough to keep them in this game, keep it close. The close line suggests that it's going to be close. It was 2.5 earlier this week, so it's starting to trend towards Cleveland. I can't put the chips in Cleveland's hands. I expect good things out of Carolina. I love the secondary from Cleveland. I love lots of the pieces underneath the secondary on defense. Love Nick Chubb, but the passing offense leaves a lot to be desired, even if Deshaun was there starting week 1. So I'm going Panthers too.
I'm in agreement with both of you guys. Carolina again. I got them winning this game as well. I got Carolina 28-17. Got them winning by 11. I think they start early too. I think they get some points on the board early, and then I think Cleveland's defense starts to establish a little bit of what they're doing. The only thing I see the outcome of of Cleveland Browns winning this game is if Myles Garrett, name a tackle on Carolina that's stopping him. There isn't one. So if he can get back there and manage 3-4 sacks in this game, that might be the deciding factor, and it might be closer than we all think, and Cleveland might run away with one. But I think that the chip on Baker's shoulder, I think he's coming in ready to play. They're more talented. DJ Moore and them boys, Robbie Anderson. You even got help me out here, Eddie. Charlie. They're number 3 receiver.
Chenault.
Terrence Marshall Jr.
Yes, sir. And then they did get Chenault, so that's another piece. The 1-2 punch with C-Mac and Chuba Hubbard. Let's not forget about him. I know C-Mac's back, but let's not forget what Chuba Hubbard put on the field last year. So I think all around they're ready to go. But 28-17 Carolina.
Yeah, I'm going Browns because, I think they know what Baker can do and what Baker can't do, and they're going to exploit that. And I don't think you're giving that defensive front for Cleveland enough. I think that that's exactly who's going to control this game, and his name's Myles Garrett. I think that's 100%. I think he's going to show up, and he's going to show out. And I think that basically what's going to end up happening here is Cleveland won't look wrong this time. But that's only this time. I think everything else they've done, they've looked as wrong as one could look. But I think I'll stick up for Cleveland in this instant, and I don't think that this is going to be a time where they're wrong. Personally,
Like that, because if Cleveland's defense can create turnovers, Robbie Anderson's a little banged up coming into this one. If they can, if Stefanski is on top of Mayfield in this one, I definitely give him the coaching edge over Matt Rule all day long. I love what Carolina does on defense, but I like the Cleveland Brown defense a lot more. They're definitely ball hawks over there, proven ones. I know on the other side of the ball, Carolina has potential ones.
Jack Collins is
that I'd like to see do it, but I agree. If they can win the turnover battle, this thing can be really close, and Cleveland can win it.
Jack Collins is going to be questionable in this game, and I mean that's really big for me because that's a huge part of running the ball. Him being the left tackle, that's a pretty big deal. Right tackle, that's a pretty big deal. But I think outside of that, I think that Chubb has a really good game. And I think you might even get to taste Ford in this, and I don't see them stopping the run. I don't see them stopping it. I think we're forgetting how good Ford did in preseason. I think we're going to get a taste in real game action. It's not going to be an exhibition game, and we're going to see what Ford's got with those wheels in a real game, not a preseason game.
Nice.
I think potentially the run.
I mean, defense and run game, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about the injury on the offensive line for Cleveland, but I do know about the
he's questionable.
Questionability of Jadeveon Clowney is also questionable. That's why I lean more towards just Garrett. If Jadeveon Clowney doesn't play, it's going to be all Garrett.
Well, they got a lot of questions
from one side.
They got Chase Winovich.
Go ahead.
Chase Winovich is questionable too. I mean,
right,
for their Cleveland defense.
Right, and if these guys don't play, I feel like it's just going to be coming from one side. But that's my only deterrent if the Browns do win is Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
Can Baker keep his ego down? Because at some point in time he's going to want to stick it to Cleveland, and he's going to want to stick it through the air, and don't throw that unnecessary pass that we've seen you throw all too many times and turn it into a pick six, because Cleveland's got plenty of secondary people that can take it back to the house. We've even seen it in the preseason, but we saw it a lot last year too, and the year before that. So don't, keep your ego in check, Baker. Go in there, handle business, win the game.
Yeah.
Win the game. Keep that in mind, because I know you ain't going to have somebody on the sideline with Matt Rule. He reminds me of like a cheerleader, like a hype man. Yeah. Oh, let's, type of deal. None of that. Keep your head and just go out there and handle business.
Yeah.
And don't say anything. Don't talk anymore. You already put I'm going to kick their ass, out there. Shut your mouth. Go play football and win the game.
And Cleveland didn't do that.
That's all talking you need to do.
That's what I'm saying. And Cleveland didn't do that. And Baker went and gave Cleveland all his bulletin board material, and you got 50-something guys that didn't have a problem with Baker, and now they might. That's the 3 minutes on that one, man. Any last touches on that? Let's touch it and dip.
The only thing I wanted to add was, with everything you guys brought up with Cleveland, how many games did they win last year? How much of it we thought that they had potential to be a threat because of how great a play caller Stefanski was. So if they can get that lead at all, it's going to be hard for Cleveland or for Carolina to come back into it. And that to me is the deciding factor. I love the defense. I love that secondary, but it's that, to me, the deciding factor is who has the lead early, because that's where I think determines this game. And I just think Carolina could score early. That was my pick.
I'm taking ball. I'm taking Browns.
Stefanski with the play calling is a good angle. I like that too. Respect.
I'm taking Browns.
Moving on, though, AFC South fight with a 7-point favorite. The Colts going into the Texans. We want to see a lot out of the Texans.
We do.
They're trying to build up. They're trying to make something happen. Trying to erase, bad debts, everything. But I just think the Colts are ready. The Colts are, putting the money out there to win, and they have the players and the pieces to do it. I think that defense is too much for this Texans team to come out week one and be like, hey, we have potential. Maybe later on in the field when they get things rolling. But week one, I just think the Colts defense is going to overwhelm them.
I agree with you. This is a bad matchup for the Texans. Last year, the Colts gave up a total of 3 points in 2 games to the Texans. As good and as game as the Texans were against everybody else, sometimes the teams just kind of got your number. but I do think the Texans are able to keep this one close. I kind of feel like it's a trap game because everybody in that upper corridor up there by Indianapolis is so patting these guys on the back already, and they haven't set foot on the field yet. Go out there. There's another one. Go out there and handle business. Beat a division rival. It's always going to be a tough game when you're playing a division opponent, especially to open the season. Davis Mills, Pierce, Cooks. There's pieces there, but I gotta settle on the Colts. I can't go against the Colts. I borderline would take the points with the Texans because I think it's like 8 points. I think it's going to be like a 28-24 type of game. I think the Texans are going to be game. But I think the Colts ultimately win.
I like it.
Like what you said, Charlie, I got my score right there, 28-24. Indianapolis taking it. I think Houston puts up a game. I think there's some weapons there. I think David Mills does some good things. But the Colts are just that much better. Let's not forget about Jonathan Taylor. I know every fantasy football player out there took him number one, and if you didn't, what are you doing? Maybe you took C-Mac, who knows? But what a great week one to have him start in fantasy, just to up his reputation even more as a fantasy player, because he's going all out in this game, and I think the Colts take this one ultimately. And like you guys said, the defense is too good for Houston.
Colts it is. Jonathan Taylor.
Colts.
I mean, we can sit here and we can split apples and oranges, right? We could say Taylor, or we could say Henry, or whatever your little heart desires, But he's damn near best back in the league, right? I mean, you can compare him to any back. They don't throw to him a lot out of the backfield. He's a pure runner. You can compare him more to Chubb and Henry than maybe say Kamara or McCaffrey, right? But I mean, this dude's going to control things. I agree with Charlie. This could be a trap game. Game will be close. Why? Because this is a divisional game. I said this before. I'll say it again. You don't draft players to win the Super Bowl. You draft players to win your division. That's what you're trying to do, because if you don't win your division, you're not getting into the playoffs. Now, they changed that down the road a little bit here, a little bit there. Now you can get in. You got 8 teams. You get 2 more guys are getting in there. You're sliding in there. Maybe you wouldn't have slid before. Going Indianapolis Colts here. Matty Ice is going to have these boys ready and raring to go. Why? Because this dude's a winner, and that's what he wants to do. He's as old as Tom Brady now. He wants to retire. This guy's going to come out, and he ain't going to be fucking around week 1. This guy's coming out. He's going to have that offensive line in the trenches ready to go. They're going to be on point. Defensively, they're studs across the board. You got some new guys coming in. You got some good things looking. I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts here. I'm super duper high closet Texan fan. I want to see them do good. They've been through a lot of turmoil. I like the quarterback. I like the coach. I like the way the players play for the coach. How do you not like a team like that? I like the Texans, but you didn't ask me who I like. You asked me who's going to win. It's going to be the Colts. See you later. Good night. Goodbye.
All on the same boat. Hard to argue against that.
Yep.
Yeah, I really don't have any more to add.
The damn trenches
I think
in
we
this
all
one.
summed that one up pretty good.
The damn trenches in this one. Please, come on.
Yeah. Speaking of trenches, the one thing I quick wanted to add was I think Buckner has a big year because he has to. Because the Colts have an out on his contract this year, and he has 2 years left. And if they cut him, he gets nothing. But if they sign him to keep those 2 years, that's $56 million over 2 years. So he wants that contract.
Interesting.
He wants. So I think he's going to try to be back to being. Yeah, please. But I think he's trying to come back to being that number one, D tackle guy, number 1, number 2 D tackle guy that he, was over there in San Francisco. But that man's got a lot. I think he's got a lot of work to do. He fell back since being in Indy, he's kind of slid down a little bit on the radar. But
I agree.
I think he takes that next step back up with all the weapons they do have on that defense. So
well said.
I think this Colts team has a nice blend of veterans and leadership. There's really good synergy working with this team that I think everybody's going to kind of catch and motivate and push. I really like the Colts this year. I really, really do, top to bottom. Nothing that's just like outstanding, but it's just everywhere you look, it's just solid. It's solid play, solid coaching, offense, defense. Everywhere you look, it's solid. Even special teams with Rodgers returning kicks.
Eddie, what about your best second year quarterback, David Mills? What do you think he's gonna do
Yeah, I
this,
mean,
this game?
I definitely think he's definitely going to take a step forward, right? Because I mean, when you look at the numbers, I mean, any step that he takes now is going to be better than he did the year before. But again, like I said, I don't think he's going to come out week one and just push over the Indianapolis Colts. But I do like him to have a better season this year. I don't know that it'll be week one.
Yeah, he needs one of them Patriots games to beat the Colts this week because he needs one of those 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, to win this, I think. But
the way the Texans ran the ball though in the preseason, it like I said, I think this was a sneaky game for the Colts. The Colts better be ready and sharp and on their toes because they're going to get one hell of a game from the Texans, I think.
I like it. Keeping the ball rolling. We finally got into the Sunday later games with 4:25 games. We got first one, New York Giants going into the Tennessee Titans. You got the Brian Daboll debut going into the Mike Vrabel experience down there. So, the Titans.
What a terrible 4 o'clock.
I can't wait to go last on this one.
Dude, I don't know, because both of these teams, if you look at them on paper, they're very similar. You got a quarterback who you're not too sure about. You got one older wide receiver and then a bunch of young dudes around him. So, and two running backs that should be studs. So they're very similar offenses built. The difference to me is Vrabel having that experience. He's a great head coach. He knows how to work the game. You saw him out Bill Belichick when they faced each other that one time. And then they're also 7-2 at home last year. The Titans are good. They're a good team at home, and I think that's why the Titans win this.
Excellent points. 17 to 15 and a half is the final score. 15 and a half is an obtainable number in football, right? This was going to be ugly, dude. This was going to be ugly because I'm not happy with the Titans at all. I'm not. I think ultimately they're the prettier looking girl at the end of the night that you're going to pick. I'm not happy picking them. The Giants got to come together with this coaching staff. They got their work cut out for them. I'll let Eddie, go into details about his feelings about them. Good pieces here and there, but they got to really duct tape a lot of stuff together. The Titans, on the other hand, Tannehill, how much do you even feel like they want you here with Malik Willis? Henry, get your footing back under you, get that confidence back up that I am King Henry. The passing game leaves to be desired. I know it looked decent in the preseason, but I'm not wowed by that. You got Landry out on the defensive side. I do respect the defense, though. That defensive line, Simmons and in the cast down there, they get after the passer. I have no doubt that they're going to get after the Giants. I think the Giants are going to come out. They're going to try and spread out. They're going to use, the receiving options, which are decently healthy at this point. They're going to try to hit Barkley. They're going to be successful, but they're still going to be unsuccessful in the ways that they've really been unsuccessful. I think they're going to still struggle on third downs on both sides of the ball. And ultimately, by a point and a half, 2 points and a half, the Titans win the game. I'm going Titans.
Good points on both sides. I don't think it's going to be as ugly as Charlie might be saying or might be thinking. I think it's going to be not a great one to watch. I don't think it's a great 4 o'clock game, probably the worst of the bunch. But I do have the New York Giants taking the win. I got them 21-17 over Tennessee. I got a couple of guys. My reasoning why, and I want Eddie to kind of harp on the subject because I'm not sure what's going on. But I got Azeez Ojulari and Thibodeau. Thibodeau is a possible defensive player of the year for me coming this season. He is questionable, and so is Ojulari. I don't know if they're playing in this game. I'll let Eddie
Get
step
used
on
to
that.
that.
Is your girlfriend home? I think you should get your temperature checked right now because I want to make sure you're okay. I want to make sure you're healthy right now.
I gotta say, I got a healthy Saquon Barkley, bouncing back this year and doing good things for the Giants. Kadarius Toney, I know he was limited in practice, but I have him taking a step forward this season as well. Potentially the best improved second-year player from the draft. Daniel Jones, he just has to get it done for me. He hasn't done enough for me to put him in the topic of a quarterback.
And Saquon has.
But the 21-17 Giants in a tight one, there's not enough for me on the Titans side of the ball other than Derrick Henry to prove me otherwise.
Who's going to tackle Henry?
The Giants defense is good enough.
Who's going to tackle Henry? Do you even know who our starting middle linebackers are? I'll wait.
I do.
Who is it? No. Without looking at your phone, look at me. Raise your eyes up and look at me.
It doesn't
Did you get rid of Blake Martinez?
Yeah, we cut.
Don't say the name.
We cut the only guy who could tackle him. We cut him. What do you mean you picked the Giants to win? What are you fucking saying right now? You picking the Giants to win. You just said that Daniel Jones hasn't done enough for you, but Saquon Barkley has. You said you got a healthy Barkley, like he's just been out of game, bro. He's ready to go. And look, you know what, Saquon? This to you, Saquon, please. You are a phenomenal human being, okay? Right? This isn't personal, right? But let me tell you something, young man. If I go to work tomorrow and I don't build my 10 chairs because I got injured, I mean, do I have a job? That's all I'm saying. It's like, you still have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, go out and do it. Like somebody else, we don't get a job no more. Like, go out and do it, bro. Don't get upset that people are talking about, they think maybe you're not going to do it because you got a chance to come back and do it and you didn't do it. You got hurt again and you just been trying. Bro, I'm taking the Tennessee Titans here because that is the reasonable thing to do. Like, that is reasonable right now. Like, you got Tay Crowder at middle linebacker, right? And who else is it? Because you cut the leading tackler. In the past 5 years, Blake Martinez has been a top 5 tackler, and last year he was the year he played before he got injured, he was the number 2 tackler in the league, bro. Over 300 and some tackles a year. Bro, for the past 5 years. This guy's been doing that. You cut him because we need money. So we don't have anybody to tackle. We don't have anybody to stop Henry.
They don't have
the entire D line. You're telling me the entire D line who's going to go up against 5 guys. There's 4 of them are going to go up against 5 guys and Henry and win. That's what you're telling me.
The Tennessee Titans don't have much to tackle a healthy Saquon.
Who's my boundary DB? UCF. Come on, man. Robinson, bro. We don't even know if he can play boundary in the league. Like, he did okay in slot.
Bro, it's somebody other than Bud Dupree on that defense on Tennessee.
Simmons? What do you mean?
Simmons, right?
Simmons is going to need... Bro, we're going to need 3 guys to block Simmons. That's just one guy. It doesn't even matter. Deco Audrey, it doesn't even matter. What do you mean, bro? You're like, name one guy. I'll keep going on that D-line, bro. Bro, Audrey's going to have a game, bro.
I was say, when you guys start questioning with the Titans and that defense, let's not forget, that defense carried them to being a number 1 seed last year. They were a number 1 seed.
Audrey's hood, bro.
Who's the Titans?
Man,
whatever. Mike Vrabel.
You lost Jalen Brown. Yeah, you lost Brown. You lost a good linebacker, and you said Harold's down. Harold the third is down. Maybe for a couple weeks of the season. I don't know what's going on with that situation. I get that. But, bro, there's just too much going on with the Giants, a new regime, a quarterback that's got to learn a fucking fourth system in a third system in 4 years. Like, bro, you're just asking for a recipe for disaster. And then on top of it, literally our best players, every single best player that we had coming into this year got cut. Bradbury, Martinez, they're all playing on other teams. Or Martinez might have not got signed yet because that just happened a couple days ago. But Bradbury got cut.
But he will.
Bradbury got cut. Boom. He's on the Eagles, bro. They're already going to be this. We're already going to be talking about they're the best secondary in the league. Like, I mean, bro, the Giants are just hurting so bad across the board. And for anyone to pretend like, yeah, man, they got a shot this year to come out and be better than Washington? I mean, dude, we're starting from the bottom. Like, we need to acknowledge this. We still got to get rid of people to clear cap space. Like, we're still dying because of Kenny Golladay.
Yeah,
Titans.
yeah. You could talk about the Giants all night long because there is that many issues, and
Titans.
you're absolutely right. It's tough to go Giants, though. It's tough.
I love you, Nick.
Hats off to you for trying, Nick. And maybe they can, but the only reason they can is because of what I said about the Titans, where there's just
Love you too,
there's a
Barkley.
bad order going around with them. But I think the Titans win this game.
Yeah, it's just tough, man. I love the Giants, bro. I know it doesn't sound like it, and I know, but I'm just being realistic about the situation, about the roster, about the team.
Yeah.
Saquon is a beast.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I think he has
because
a bounce.
Eddie's approach is reverse psychology, and he picks against his team. That way, when they win, he feels better about it. And then he's going to call me up and say, Nick, you were right. And I'm going to call him back, and I'm going to say, I know.
Maybe
and then
next
we're going
week.
to laugh about
Maybe
it.
Yeah,
and then we'll
maybe
go.
another week. It won't be week 1.
I do agree with you on Saquon. I think he has a good year this year. How good? I don't know, but I think he has a good year.
I hope so for Saquon, man, because he's a great dude, bro. I hope so.
It'll be interesting to see. Devils got some work ahead of them for sure.
Saquon, just use it all as bulletin board material, bro. Just use it all for bulletin board material. That's it.
All right.
Exactly.
Keeping the ball rolling. Let's dive into the NFC North bragging rights fight. Who's going to be the man to beat going forward? The Green Bay Packers, 1.5-point favorite going into the Vikings.
This is tough.
And you got to remember, I want to add something real quick. They do not play again until week 17. So
I
week
love
1,
that.
and then they don't play again until week 17. So you get to hold this over your divisional rival, who is going to be first or second, for 16 weeks to shove it in their face and be like, hey, you can have all the wins you want, but you still can't beat me.
This is for supremacy.
But for me, I'm going Vikings because of the similar story that happened last year where Green Bay starts off slow because of the offseason, because Aaron Rodgers isn't in there with them dudes, and they need at least a week with Aaron Rodgers at the helm to get back into that group. Because let's not forget how bad the Saints embarrassed them. What was it, like 33-3 or something like that week 1? I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I do think they do start off in a similar slow fashion where people aren't running the right routes, they're misdirections,